Hey, what's up guys, and welcome to a new video. So this one's definitely going to be a bit controversial, but I wanted to give my 2 cents about the proposition of the ZMI alter coming into the game, which was sporadically announced today, and then a dev blog was released about it. It's been in the archive for Old School for quite a while, almost completed, and they decided to finally make a dev blog about it and poll it, I guess, and see if it actually passes. And for those who don't know, ZMI was a runecrafting alter that was released sometime in 07 or 08, I think, obviously after Old School time. And basically what it was is it's an alter underneath, like a runecrafting alter underneath the Orania alter, which is right near the Red Salamander Hunter area. And when you crafted runes at the altar, you'd get a whole bunch of different random types of runes, but I think you'd get double XP per rune that you crafted. So you got like a random assortment, but you got more XP per rune. So it was, for quite a while in RuneScape, it was the most efficient way to train runecrafting, and it was a pretty enjoyable way to train runecrafting, I thought. I did it until I think like 80 runecrafting, and then RuneSpan came out back in the day. So I did it for, a decent bit of time, but nothing crazy. And I did enjoy it, definitely. I think it was pretty fun content. So as far as XP per hour on the actual dev blog for ZMI, which by the way I will link in the description if you want to check it out for yourself, and it is on the homepage of the Old School website as well. But they said the XP per hour at level 99 is going to be 46.8k, and like level 70 is going to be around 35k an hour. So this is the part where it starts to seem a little bit odd to me, because there's a guy named Phoenix Odin. Many of you guys have probably heard of him. He got 200 mil rune crafting through ZMI, and he got like 60k an hour at 99. So, and he has a video on his YouTube channel, I could probably link that in the description too if you're curious, where he shows exactly how he did ZMI and everything. And he was not using AHK, he was using, I think, just simple mouse keys. And, his banking sequence wasn't like crazy or anything. It's not like he was using super overpowered AHK, because nobody even used AHK back then. And he was getting 60k an hour, and that it was at level 99, and it does scale. Like each time your level goes up, you have a little bit higher chance of getting better runes, which means better XP. But yeah, I mean, if they don't change anything about the altar itself, like the XP awarded from it, it's not going to be 46.8k an hour, and I don't understand why that's there, because like any player can use some basic mouse keys and with a bit of practice get pretty good rates. And even without mouse keys, it shouldn't make a massive difference. Your banking sequence might be at most maybe like 2-3 ticks slower if you're not using mouse keys at all, which isn't really a huge difference, and should still easily be able to hit 55k for pretty much any person who can use a mouse like a normal person. So yeah, this part confuses me, because in the dev blog, it doesn't look like they were saying specifically that they're planning to alter the code so that it awards lower XP per hour, but the XP per hour numbers they have is so low that it just seems strange. And if it is actually 46k an hour at 99, it's not going to be, it's going to be dead content. That's the problem. I mean, soul runes are 45k an hour and they're AFK. This is going to be better profit and like 2k an hour better XP, but people put a lot of value on AFK, and people are going to still do souls, and very few people are going to do this if these are the rates that it gives. It probably will be a popular option for people getting up to level 77, but it would be kind of disappointing to see ZMI be just like a kind of low level training option for people who are just trying to get up to 77 until they can do basics ARC. Now, I'm sure people are assuming that I hate this and don't want it in the game and all that kind of stuff, and that's not really the case. The thing that really bothers me is that I wish they had, I mean, this has been in the archive since the beginning. I really, really wish they had suggested this like a year ago before Zaya and implemented it at these exact rates, because that would be perfect. I mean, maybe even like 50k an hour at 99 would be really nicely balanced, because it would be like a mid-tier option for decent XP per hour but not the best, and decent profit but not the best, and not extremely, like, not nearly as click intensive also as lavas. And I think a lot of, like, it would have worked really well. It's much more true to the feel of runecrafting, because it has the whole, banking, using essence, making runes, where ZARC is really different and kind of strange. And it would have been perfect in place of ZARC, and then once Zaya came out, they could have just not done ZARC. And if we had ZMI instead, I think that runecrafting would be so much better than it is now. Even, like, I just think that ZMI is far better content than ZARC is. But as of now, it's obviously too late to just delete ZARC from the game, because it's a thing, and you can't just delete things from the game. And so where does ZMI actually fit? Because if it's at these rates, it's going to be pretty much dead content, and like, why bother even release it? There might be a few people that play it a bit on release, and maybe a few people will stick with it, but it's not really worth putting something like a piece of content that major into the game if it's going to be so irrelevant, basically. And I'm assuming that it's not actually going to be these rates, and it actually is going to be not too difficult to get about 60k XP an hour at 99. And in that case, it's just kind of too high and just makes lavas pretty much dead content. I mean, there'll be a few people maybe who still stick with lavas because they really want to get the max rates and aren't worried about GP or click intensity at all. But like for the vast majority of players, it's going to make lavas pretty much dead. And I think that lavas are a really good runecrafting method, and they're nicely balanced for high effort and costly to get really high rates, which I think is a perfect way to have it balanced. And I think having ZMI be this high XP, like be as high as, 60k an hour would just kind of ruin that, which would be unfortunate in my opinion. So yeah, content wise, I honestly think that ZMI is really good. I enjoyed doing it back in the day, and I think it's just a nice runecrafting method, but unfortunately I just don't see it fitting into old school well. Realistically, it's probably going to be like 60k an hour on release, and if they want to actually keep it at the rates that they're proposing in this dev blog, they're going to have to nerf the rates down a bit and just reduce the XP you get per rune or something like that. And if they do that, then it's probably just going to become dead content. And so, yeah, it's really unfortunate. Like, I really wish that ZMI could be in the game at the same, like, balancing point instead of ZRC, but that's just not really a possibility. So, yeah, that's my thoughts. I really don't think that ZMI is bad content, and I really did enjoy it back in the day. It's just that it's hard to see it fitting into old school well. One other thing that people might bring up is that when Phoenix Odin did his runecrafting, he was using a familiar which stored, I believe it was Abyssal Lurker, and at the time it stored 7 rune essence, or pure essence, which it is a few extra essence per run, but it made it so he had to open the bank an extra time and slowed down his banking sequence. And also they mentioned that they were planning on modifying the way that you open the bank, because back in the day you'd have to click an extra interface each time you open the bank, since you have to pay a few runes in order to open the bank, and they're planning to do away with that and just have you set your, like, what type of rune is going to cost once, and then you can bank normally. So if anything, it's probably just going to be exactly the same, if not maybe even a little bit faster, because the banking sequence will be significantly faster than when Phoenix Odin did it. So there's not really any reason I can think of that it wouldn't be like 60k an hour, unless for some reason Phoenix Odin's video is inaccurate, but I would assume that the person who's probably done the most CMI ever has the accurate rates. So that's pretty much my thoughts on it. It just kind of feels like there's no room in old school anymore for new runecrafting content without making existing content that I think is really good completely dead. So it's kind of unfortunate, because it feels like a missed opportunity where we could have had some really nice RC content, and instead we have ZRC, which I personally don't think is that great content. I mean, it's all personal opinion, but I honestly just think that ZMI is better than ZRC and would be an excellent replacement. But yeah, I've said that like several times in this video. So those are my thoughts. Hope you guys enjoyed the video, and feel free to leave your own feedback and thoughts in the comment section below. I'm expecting lots of disagreement and all that, but I'm really, to reiterate, I'm really not opposed to ZMI. I just don't see it really working that well in old school, realistically speaking. But yeah, thank you guys for watching the video. Hope you enjoyed, and I will see you guys all later.